Welcome back to Harker Oval. We're ready for the second half here as Macquarie make their way out onto the ground. Perhaps a little bit of gamesmanship from them. They took a fair while to gradually stagger out there. Wests were left idly loitering for a few minutes while Macquarie made their way out. But we're ready to go now. Steve Gordon's got the ball on the tee and the second half is about to get underway. Matthew, what do Macquarie need to do if they're going to win this game this afternoon?
Look, their biggest problem at the moment is just not being able to hold onto the ball, and I think that was a pretty good example of just complete your sets, get down the other end, get a kick in, build a bit of pressure. That's the one thing they just haven't been able to do all day, and it's the one thing probably West have done in all game is just being able to build pressure, build pressure, build pressure. They probably haven't been able to capitalise on that pressure, but it's building the pressure that gets you into the position where you can score points, and I don't think Macquarie have done that one bit yet.
That last 10 minutes, it did show they've got the individual skills out on the field to cause West problems, particularly down the middle, it seemed. So
I think that's what they got in the forwards with the Briggs boys. Gallen, obviously Allen playing at 5'8", built like a second rower or a front rower. So they've certainly got enough there in the forwards where guys had a bit of ball playing.
Now, this is an interesting kick, but it just fell into the arms of Callan Richardson. It was almost 40-20 territory there. But at the very least, they've finished the first set, got to their fifth and kicked the ball away. So for that, you'd imagine Adam Bettrich will be pleased. And it's Wests who have to bring it away. We've got the ground announcer getting very cross with a couple of kids who are inside the fence down there on the in the corner in the West's half of the field. They don't seem to be budging though, unfortunately, as forward come West. And this is Farah. And now Saunders. And they wrap the ball up, and I think that's pretty advisable. We saw his offload in the first half. So they come away. And the kick's just jabbed in behind there by Joel Brown. He's had a pretty steady hand on things so far. Hasn't been too involved, but the touches he has had been very calm. And so they bring it away. They've got a little bit of a roll on early here from Favielli, but it comes to an abrupt end, and now the ball comes out. They might say knock on. I suspect they will. Favielli, who was parallel to the ground, trying to get an offload away, and that's a very high degree of difficulty.
Yeah, just didn't need to do that. Was forcing something that really wasn't on the second tackle. They had made that nice quick scoot out of dummy half. They're on the 40-metre line on the second tackle and just threw it away, and that's what they've been doing all game. Just haven't been able to build that pressure at all.
Well, now they're going to see a bit of it themselves because West have a feed and Knight fizzes a ball out at the back of the scrum and forward comes Mannion. So they start a set 30 metres out. Knight away there. And it's Farah. And Knight's busy in at dummy half. He's looking for runners again. He finds Tafua. He's got Reggie Saunders with him, but Tafua's going to go himself. He'll be tough to stop from there. The ball comes out. And I think Macquarie are going to fall on it. It might have been stripped, I suspect, because it came spewing forth. And I think after a consultation with Greg Ryan, that's what Aylett's going to say. It's going to be a dropout for Macquarie. But Mark Tafua there. Brock Harmon was hanging on desperately, but he very nearly got trampled.
Well, there's not much you can really do, is there?
I wouldn't have thought so. Once he's got the momentum, they ended up doing pretty well to strip the ball. But it's a roundabout way to build pressure. And Chris Knight has the ball and he'll give it to the other big unit, Reggie Saunders. There's no respite in the middle of the park for Macquarie. There's not going to be a moment in this game where they don't have a big cannon being aimed straight at them. So Farah away to Tafua. It's a 1-2 punch and he's causing a bit of trouble early in this half. That's another good run. Josh Schmiedel, he's far from a weak link in defence, but he was pushed a fair way back there, and now it's Porter. And Porter just throws about 17 dummies there and finally hits a bit of contact. Inside, this is a good chance for Williams, and he's still bobbing and weaving. And they're very well placed. Richardson at dummy half. He likes the dive over from dummy half. He's tried it on again. It didn't work that time, but he does that a fair bit. Good ball across to Porter. Now Farah. They look very, very short on Macquarie's right-hand side. West's left, and they're aiming numbers that way now. They need to slide, but they go back the other side tonight, and Saunders will switch and turn and get the ball down. They stacked the numbers to the left and then went back to the right, and Chris Knight's a very, very clever dummy half, and West score the crucial first try in this second half.
One-on-one, you're never going to stop Reggie Saunders from that distance. 1 or 2 metres out, he just flung the defender off him quite easily. And look, it's what's always going to happen if you just continually allow West on your line is they're such a good side. They're so well organised in the halves. With Chris Knight or Redmond out there, you've got a very good rake. So, look, it was bound to happen. I think Macquarie really have shot themselves in the foot there, giving the ball up very cheaply twice there.
I think you're absolutely right. Now, Andrew Sumner's having a word. I suspect it's a report from linesman McInnes. Very lengthy chat here from Tom Aylen. I don't know what he's saying. As we said, we don't have ref mics this year, so we can't get that insight into the little chats that the refs have with the players.
I think they're discussing whether GST should be raised or not.
I think that's probably right.
It's probably the time to do it.
Yeah. What's your view on state income tax, superannuation concessions, all that stuff that naturally comes up in the course of a rugby league game? As Gordon goes back and comes forward and puts it over. So West jump out to an 18-6 lead. The 12-point lead from the first half is restored. And Macquarie, they've got to go right back to the bottom of the mountain again. So probably a pretty definitive passage of the game coming up now as Reggie Saunders brings it forward. The next try going to be so important, and there's been a knock on here, and he set a knock on. I suspected Aylett was going to look for a penalty there, but no, they've turned it straight over. First tackle after points. One of those things that causes coaches to lose their hair. And so Macquarie get a chance to whack them straight back. So it's Noble at the base of the scrum. Off there to Allen. Favielli's out in the back line. He gets past one. He might get past another there. It's a good run from Thiessen Favielli. He's very, very strong. And this looks like the number 2, Ryan Pywell, bringing it infield. Noble's in at dummy half. Schmiedel. They need this sort of running from him. That was a good carry. They've got a few tackles in hand here. And it's out there to Swaddling, who just plays a pass to Adam Grew. And he was like he was walking the dog on a Sunday afternoon across the road at Lambton Park. A lovely pass at the line from Adam Swaddling, who might be having a crack at 5'8" next week if Simon Allen goes down. And Macquarie, well, the 6-point deficit might be back.
I really wish we had the replay for that because that was sublime football there from Swaddling. As I said at the beginning of this half, a few of the forwards in the Macquarie pack really do have a bit of ball playing. The Briggs boys and Gallen is certainly someone who will slip into that 5'8" role, but Swaddling there, hands like Peter Neville.
I know, he wasn't, not someone...
Surgeon hands.
Indeed. Wicketkeeper's hands. It's not someone you expect to be promoting the ball at the line.
And didn't they like it too? All the Macquarie boys really went up for that.
Well, perhaps mostly out of confusion, shock. What just happened? Anyway.
But it brings them back again, Macquarie.
It does.
And West will be ruining that drop ball from Reggie Saunders.
Yeah, he scored one up the Macquarie end of the field and then dropped it coming off his own line. So
it's a funny game, isn't it? To quote Phil Gould.
It's a funny game, yeah. So Favielli with a chance to restore the gap to 6. And you're right, West will be cursing that. Over it goes. Good
crowd as usual here at West's. I think it's one of the few grounds where you can sit in your car and bask in the sun.
Yep. And it's one of the few grounds where you can park your car around the perimeter and you're not a chance of needing the people at Koala Glass through the week, which is a very good touch because you're a fair way away over there. I'm not a big fan of sitting in the car, I must say. It's just generally, I sort of find it uncomfortable, but some people like it. Good luck to them. Oh, there might have been a drop ball there, but they get away with it. So it's Isaac Briggs coming forward. No, in fact, it's Grew, who'll be full of running after his first try. It's good for a bench forward to get the Nudie run out of the equation early in the season. He'd be very pleased with that. Had a good, strong game against Cessnock last week as well. Now Sumner. Over to Harmer. And Gallen, that pass looked flat at best. But forward they come. And this has been a good set. A bit of running in the legs now. And they're going to run the ball, at least as far as Simon Allen, who sends this into orbit. And back they go. Alatini's dropped it. If Sumner can get a kick on it, and Cantor can get a kick on it, they'll fall on it. It's Josh Schmiedel, in fact, who falls on the ball. It's one of the most bizarre tries you'll see because there was more soccer than rugby league. But read about it in the paper tomorrow, dude, because Macquarie are about to be level.
Don't know what to say.
Schmiedel.
Really do not know what to say. That was...
What can you say? It was bizarre.
It looked as though Macquarie were going to run that. When Sumner got the ball at first receiver there, it looked as though that they may spread it wide, but Allen's really gave it the big old up and under there, the old Gary Owen.
Indeed. As I said on the call live, it went into orbit. It was a big booming kick. And Alatini just got caught under the ball there, twisting and turning.
But it's the beauty of this game.
Indeed.
West looked like they were going to break away there when Reggie Saunders did it easy, get over the line. And now, really, for RVL, should boot this over to level the scores up with 30 minutes to go.
Well, I said when West scored that try, Macquarie are back to the bottom of the mountain. They're on a jet ski. They've roared to the top.
Small mountain.
Yeah, not
Kosciuszko
not
size.
huge. Yeah. Oh, I was thinking more of Yakaba.
Sugarloaf?
Yakaba.
Yakaba, really?
Yeah, you can do that in about half an hour, but the point stands. It's going to be 18 all unless something kooky happens here. No, there it is. So West have scored a try to go 12 points clear, and before they've had the ball back, they're level. Bizarre. And Andrew Sumner with the presence of mind to just jab the boot at it when Alatini got the fumbles, and then Schmiedel, who I mistook again for Cantor, towing it ahead.
He's everywhere, Schmiedel.
Falling on the ball. Yes, well, I did say he needed to have an impact. I didn't expect it to be that. And a big charge. Macquarie. They're bulking up here. They're keen for work. Here's Adam Grew. And there's a bit of niggle out there as well. Inside it comes to Harmer, who's been very willing all day. And it's Grew again. Second run in the set. It's about his fourth in the last two sets. And they'll come out here to Gallen. They've still got another tackle left. So Gallen can just go north-south here. And they're on halfway. Last. Allen away. And Allen puts it on the toe here. He's going to get the kicking duties full time if he keeps going like this. That's a lovely kick. And Brad Ty's got plenty to do. And he's pretty well wrapped up, although it's a good fight. But Macquarie are on the rise here. And there's a few West players who are a little bit slowly back. Their next couple of games, Macquarie have got Curry at home. Macquarie's first home game next week. And then they're home again. Oh, no, they're not. They're away. They're away to Maitland. So a couple of games they'd probably fancy themselves in. West have got Maitland away next week and then South at home here in the Derby the week after.
So they haven't taken away game, a home game to Maitland? You know, NRL style,
No.
taking a home game away to Perth?
To get the crowd? No, that's right. And so it's Cantor who will come into the game if the West forwards get tired. And now it's Kukar Smith, who didn't play in round one. Joe Layton was in the side in round one, but was very, very heavily concussed. And it's no surprise that he's not in the side today. This is Pywell, the other winger, turning up on that side of the field. And now Grew. And it takes 3 to finally subdue him. And Schmiedel. And again, they're up to halfway as the hand goes in the air. Matt Jeffrey's getting ready on the touchline as there's going to be a kick here from Sumner, and again, ready for the snow. Down it comes. Richardson's under pressure, but he does very well. He's a representative winger, and you can see why. He's very, very good under the high ball. There's big problems here for Matt Hay. I think we might have a stoppage here. I'm not sure if our pictures are picking it up, but Matt Hay is in huge trouble, writhing around on the ground just behind the west line as Jermaine Ailes on the field and bringing it forward. But Macquarie have got 12 here in the defensive line because Matt Hay is in a fair bit of distress. And we'll stay with the action as West come forward. And this is Finn back on the field, and he throws the dummy. Oh dear, there's some forwards with some gallop in them today. There's forwards throwing dummies, throwing face passes, stepping through the line. It's enough to bring a tear to the eye. Now here's Richardson. And Sumner knocks him over out there. They're still short in the defensive line though, Macquarie. So there's a big chance here for West if they run it, but they go to the sky. And Pywell, I think it is, who comes in, gets the fumbles. Big chance here for West. It'll be 6 to go, you'd imagine. Hay still hasn't got up. Surely there's an appeal to stop play here. The referee has stopped play now, but he's calling a 5th tackle, play the ball. So he's saying, obviously, that Ryan Pywell didn't touch the ball. If that's the case, he's got far better eyes than me.
Yeah, I thought certainly a Macquarie player got a hand on that and 6 to go to West, but...
Yeah, that's right. Now, I'm just counting the players out here. I think Macquarie have only got 13 in the line because Matt Hay still hasn't got up. He's still down on the 20-metre line up the west side of the ground. And they still haven't stopped play to allow him to get treatment and get off the field. Now Harmer's dropped the ball. It goes backwards eventually, but that'll be a knock-on. And surely now they can stop play because you can't have a player getting treated on the field. If there was a break-up field or something like that, he could be right in the firing line. He's coming off now, though, but needing a great deal of assistance. That's Matt Hay, and he's just coming off the ground after, I reckon, about 3 or 4 minutes on the turf. So there's going to be changes here. The 17 is coming on for Macquarie, and that's Matt Simon. So he's about to join the play. Ty Alchin in 15 is about to come on as well for his first involvement. But West break from the scrum. So there'll have to be a bit of a shift in the back line for Macquarie to accommodate that injury. This is Jermaine Ale playing in the forwards, gets it away to Jake Finn. He's playing in the forwards too, but he's got his second of the day. It's a front rower's paradise out there today. And Jake Finn has a double in round 2. And Wests are back in front.
For mine, the player in the park at the moment.
Yep.
Finn, he's been damaging every time he's had the ball. He's made breaks. He's really caused the Macquarie defence a lot of problems.
He's just hurling himself into them, isn't he?
But runs at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but hits the hole. And I think that's
right.
the main thing, really hitting the hole. And Sumner's been called out again. I can only imagine, I don't know what they're discussing now, perhaps tax concessions for high income, high superannuities. I don't know.
That's a possibility. Maybe the upcoming federal budget. The disturbance in the South China Sea. All the things that would normally come up in the course of a rugby league match. I suspect what's really going on out there is that the Macquarie players have been serving up a bit of back chat. We saw in the game yesterday, Curry and Maitland. Maitland had Steve Waitford sin binned for back chat in the first half. One of the 2 sin binnings that Maitland suffered yesterday. So you've got to be careful what you say to referees. That's the message. And Steve Gordon should put West's 6 points in front He does. So with 21 minutes to go here, West's 24, Macquarie 18. And this game, can I say, is bubbling away beautifully. Matt Hayes up on his feet and he's walking unassisted, but he's heading up the tunnel. I don't think we'll be seeing any more from him today. He seems to indicate it's around his sternum area, I think, which is the trouble. He looked very, very sore when he first went down. But good to see that he's up and about. So Wests, after Macquarie had the running, they were starting to really gallop. Wests have put a stop to it. And this is Reggie Saunders. Very long hold down in the play of the ball there from Alchin. Now it's Ale and Saunders. Right in the middle of the cricket pitch. It won't do too much damage after the weather we've had. I don't know if I'd want to be landing on it in a month's time. And it's going to be Joel Brown who kicks this downfield. It's not a bad kick. And it's a first touch there for Matt Simon, who had a nervous moment picking it up, but he does well. And Macquarie are a little bit slow to get back. So Cantor takes responsibility. The forwards are in place now. And it's Noble away there to Kuka Smith. And they're needing the backs. That probably gives you some indication of how the forwards are travelling. The fullback and the two wingers have taken the ball up for Macquarie here, and now Noble hoofs it downfield, just looking to turn West around. And Steve Gordon has dropped back to fullback again. He'll bring it back. And there might have been a bobble in there. There was. It's a big moment in the game. Macquarie get a huge chance, and now there's a bit of scrap between Sumner and Gordon, which doesn't amount to too much. But this is a big moment now. 20 metres out, centre field, full set of 6 points down.
It's where the game's ebbed and flowed today. Macquarie coming back into it, but then West pulling ahead. And look, if Macquarie can get back level here, it certainly wouldn't be out of the ordinary, because just this game has just gone back and forth. And once one side's had an opportunity down the other end, they've capitalised on it.
Well, one of the scourges of modern rugby league, the reformed scrum.
I like the tediousness.
Isn't it great? In it goes, and eventually...
Funnily enough, same result.
Yeah, who'd have thought? Cantor. Incidentally, Mark Tafua and Reggie Saunders are now off the field, so this is a good opportunity for the Macquarie forwards, and they've seized it by throwing Isaac Briggs back on. Schmiedel went the old throw the pass to himself, Benji Marshall play there, which I love, and again, forwards, doing all the work here. Now Gallen, and he throws a dummy and goes himself, and he's not far away. He's not far away at all. Noble, away to Sumner. Sumner flat there to Alchin, who's just onto the field, and he's just twisting and fighting there. Throwing a bit at them here. Noble, over the top there to Sumner. It's an ordinary pass. He's got excuses for fumbling it, but now they're running the wrong way. And Sumner gets it away now to Favielli, but they've lost at least 35 metres there, and it's taken all the sting out of that attack. That was a terrible result for them, and finally Sumner just punts it up into the air, and you'd imagine this will gain steam and just head over the dead ball line, will it? Yes. It was a nervous moment there for Callan Richardson, but a very disappointing set in the end. But they've knocked it on again. Well, they might pull this back. It's going to be a knock-on against Josh Schmiedel here. They're going to say he forced it out. So I think West are going to get this back. They are. That's lucky.
That was coronary material for the West coach.
I'd reckon.
To survive that set of 6 and then drop it on the first tackle. But I guess the way that the ball went, it was always clear that Schmiedel had got his hands onto it.
So West, having survived, start again, and now they've got a penalty, and there couldn't be a worse time to give away a penalty, I don't think, for Macquarie today. 16 minutes left here. They trail 24-18. And, that's not going to find touch. Oh, dear. Well, coronary material. Now there's a bit of a run on from Matt Simon. It's not a baddie either. He's finally buried by Jermaine Ale, I think, who put a stop to it. But it was a decent little run there from Matt Simon. And now forward they come with Alchin. And there's a bit of a swinging arm in there. Getting a bit willing. Noble. Away to Briggs. Hard hit again. It's Farah doing a lot of good tackling in the middle of the park. And there's a penalty here to Macquarie. They can reset the count. I can't imagine there'd be any thoughts of the goal.
Well, I reckon Joel Brown heard you in the first half and us going on about the conservative kick for touch.
Yep.
He's tried his arm and
yep. That's probably why they do it.
Fantastic run there from Matt Simon.
It was. A bit of agility, and it'll come in handy late in the game as people get tired. Now there's a chance. A good ball out the back, and it's Jordan Noble. It's tackled just short. Sumner. Away to Allen, away to Schmiedel. He'll be hard to stop from there. He probably would have been better to go wide. They're set out to the right. They go to the left. It's Gallen, who does a bit of ballerina stepping. Schmiedel held it well. He decides to run backwards Tony Iro style, which I love. And finally, after a couple of dummies, he'll be wrestled down. They're a little bit disjointed here, Macquarie. They need to come up with something. 15 minutes to go. Gordon was up very, very quickly there, out of the line, and he made the tackle last here. Noble down the short side. Well, it's a risky play, and I don't think it's worked. No, it hasn't. I could see what he was looking for. There was a little bit of space out there, but last tackle, it's a big gamble to take when you're on their line, and Wests can bring it away. It's a good scrap now, Matthew. So Western Suburbs. Over there with Brown and now Herman. And Herman's been causing a fair bit of trouble out there today. And there was a fumble in there again. Oh, the fumbles are well and truly out now. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Macquarie are going to get another go.
Well, you can't say West aren't trying to keep them in the game here.
No, they're being very charitable. It warms the heart. It really does. I don't think it's going to warm the heart of their coach too much, but
I think the Bar TV viewers might think that this is a bit of a stitch up.
Well,
just trying to keep the game interesting, Kerry Packer style.
Indeed. You know, that's the second week in a row Kerry Packer's got a mention on the delayed coverage.
People want it. People want more Kerry Packer
Well,
talk.
they'll be delighted with what we've had to offer so far. Myself and Michael last week, and then you and me today. So Sumner finds Alchin, who's been running strongly since he came on, and that's another example. They've got plenty of tackles in hand here, Macquarie. Their halves need to find something. Gallen, Allen, Schmiedel. He's trying to isolate defenders. It hasn't quite come off for him yet, but while ever he's out there, they're a chance. Grooves in at dummy half. It's outside there to Allen, who throws a lovely ball to Cantor, who gets it away to Pywell, and he might have got that down. He hasn't. He hasn't. The flag is up. Read the semaphore. Touch judge Greg Ryan says no. And they'll have to bring it back in field for West to feed a scrum. It's a missed opportunity. It's a bullet avoided by West.
I'd really love an opportunity to say that it wasn't out, but we're so far away.
If you can see the line from here, you've got to be... Who's the one with X-ray vision? Spider-Man?
I think that's
Green
fair.
Lantern? I don't know.
Or just eating a lot of carrots.
Yeah,
just
Joe
back-to-back
Burns style.
carrots,
Yeah. If you'd have been eating carrots for 3 months, I still don't reckon you'd have been able to see that.
No, I think that's fair.
Well, by my count, and I'll admit maths is not really my shtick, but I think West have turned it over 3 times in a row coming off their own line.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Certainly, I can't remember them putting together a set of 6 in the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Not really. They've had a couple of knock-ons, and they've had the kick that didn't go out. I never understand why kickers are so brazen, why they're not just conservative with their kicks for touch. And finally a penalty. So West, well, this time, an opportunity to just, if nothing else, get the play away from their own
And hopefully get
red
into
zone.
touch.
Well, that would be interesting. Let's see what he comes up
I
with here,
believe
Porter.
that brazenness is what caused the 2008 global financial crisis.
Indeed.
And certainly much more conservative, much more in line
That'll
of
be the-
2016 economics.
Yeah, the Big Short 2, I believe, is going to be all about kicks for touch in rugby league. So it's Jake Finn, the cannonball. And Blake Gallen's trying to take control of him here. And they did reasonably well that time. With 11 minutes to go, you'd think another West try here, and it's probably Betty Buys, but they've had mixed fortunes up here. It's Finn again, and he takes a couple of defenders into his orbit when he comes forward. Now there's great play here from Porter inside to Ale. Ale's going to be taken, but he might try and get the ball away. No. He does well.
Another fantastic run there from Finn, just causing a lot of problems for the Macquarie defence.
Oh dear, Dryden. David Dryden gets the fumbles. And so this time it's Macquarie who are let off. And they're still close. 10 minutes to go. West's 24. Macquarie 18.
And really, that could have been the game for
Yep.
West. If they could have gone over there, 10 points, at least get 10 points in front with 10 minutes to go, you
I
would
said
almost...
that a minute ago. Weren't you listening?
No, not really. I don't listen to you. After your comments of conservative kicks,
Yeah. Fair enough.
your pro-Kerry Packer position.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. So Macquarie looking to get a roll on here, and they're going to get a penalty, which is even better. The markers weren't square again. There's been a bit of that today from Wests, and I haven't been keeping track of the penalty count, but I'd be surprised if Wests weren't in double figures for penalties conceded. I reckon they've had at least 10. If anybody's watching this stream and has been counting, by all means tweet at me through the week. So Schmiedel. They can't keep spurning this good field position, though, Macquarie. And that ball, they might have done exactly that. No, they haven't. It's a penalty for a strip. And now we're going to get a bit of a conference. There'll be a bit of off from the crowd.
I think we're going to get the Glenn Maxwell, the referee, NRL referee Maxwell. I don't think it's
Jared
Glenn.
Maxwell.
Jared Maxwell. I don't think Glenn Maxwell moonlights as an NRL referee.
I don't
do you
think so.
think?
I don't think he needs
It
to.
would add a lot, though, wouldn't it?
It would, but
The Big Show.
I think with his IPL money, he's probably all right.
I think that comment was
Just to stay fit through the season, maybe.
you don't know. I've got it there, fellas. You don't want to see what I want to do. Send the bloke
yeah,
off.
Yeah.
I think that's what that comment
tempt
was.
me.
Don't
Yeah,
tempt
okay.
me.
So Briggs off to Sumner. Good chance here for Macquarie. Cantor ran around the back of a player, I think, from the inside shoulder. We've got a decision and we're going to the board, but they carry on. Very slow play the ball here. Macquarie pushing hard. Alchin. Seems to run like a whirling dervish or something, doesn't he? He swings around. Now it's Gallen who has another snipe for the line. 8 minutes to go. Time ticking, but plenty left. Sumner. Out the back to Cantor. Gets it away. This is a good chance. It's a beauty if he can get it down. He's over the line. He's wrestling still and still wrestling. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. That was a great scrap from Kuka Smith, but he didn't get the ball down. Cantor. Out the back. There must be offside there, you'd imagine. Now it's Briggs. They've got numbers to the right if they can get it that way. Briggs is going to try and do it himself. He pops it out the back and Ty falls on it. And Macquarie have spurned a great opportunity there. A bit of vision to the right-hand side, and they were at the races. And now there's a few offside. As play goes on, West survive again.
Top defence, though, from West. I can see where it must come from because there's a couple juniors here, the ball boys, who are just been tackling the absolute bugger out of each other.
It's a one-on-one game being played at state of origin intensity, isn't it?
And
I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed that. Here's Tafua back on the field for the final stint. Down the short side with Gordon. This might go out. Oh dear, Simon Williams. I thought it was going to loop into touch, but Simon Williams did get both his hands on it and then had both his hands off it again. So, Macquarie will start another set on halfway.
Geez, Bar TV must be sinking a lot of money into this game to keep it interesting.
Well,
because I tell you what, West, I don't think have completed a set in the last 20 minutes.
As I said, it's been high charity. The amount of opportunities they've given them.
All tax deductible, obviously.
You'd imagine so. I'm sure they'll be claiming it. Now, Allen throws it out the back. They're up quickly in defence here, Wests, and with that being the case, they probably would have been better advised to keep it through the middle. Allen's into dummy half. And now Swaddling's back on the field, possibly resuming his critically acclaimed ball-playing role from earlier on. And now Alchin, that's a great run. That's the sort of run that lifts a side, that's pushing for points. Noble, away there to Briggs. Forward starting to lift here for Macquarie. But it's the backs that need to do the job. The forwards have been doing theirs. Noble, away there to Swaddling. Swaddling away to Allen. He ran around the back of Gallen. That rule is rather more lackadaisically enforced in this division. Now Schmiedel away. Allen puts it on the toe, and it's a pretty ordinary kick. And it's going to be Jermaine Ale who catches it. So another opportunity not taken. And Wests are the sort of side that if you keep letting them off the hook and keep letting them off the hook, they'll go up the other end and score on you. But Herman comes forward. Neither coach will be happy, you wouldn't have thought, with the sum of the performance today. Steve Storey will be happy with the performance of Jake Finn, though. He's a cannonball for them. And now a bit of spin to Porter. Shrugs past one, but that's last tackle, and he's their main kicker. So Brown has to get in position, and he's back on the 30-metre line. And they're up quickly on him. And it's a pretty dusty old kick. So Matt Simon, not to be confused with the fellow who played for the Central Coast Mariners,
Who is neither agile or quick.
no, is taken down. So this is Kuka Smith, and he's buried. Big tackle. I think it's Dryden out there who bumped him. Oh, the ball goes to ground, and Simon Allen has it, and now they're crabbing up. The defence from Wests is getting up quickly on the outside and encircling the Macquarie attack. And so after fielding the ball on the 30, 2 tackles later, they haven't gone anywhere. 4 minutes to go. And it's Sumner. He's going to try the 40-20, and he's not done it. He's kicked it out on the full. And he went for the miracle play there, Andrew Sumner. And he turned water into effluent there. A lesser-known trick.
Yeah, I don't think you find that one in the Bible, I don't think.
Wouldn't have thought so, no.
But Western need to close it out here. They've really haven't been in the game at all in this second half. Apart from that try quite early on by Reggie Saunders, they've really just kept letting Macquarie back in their game, and they really want to close it out here with at least a repeat set to wind down the clock, which is at 3 minutes.
I'm just watching the organising that's going on here. I wonder if they might set up for a field goal as Brown goes and throws a pass. Favielli misread it. A 2-pointer.
Yeah, isn't that what a field goal worth?
No, sorry, you're stuck in 1962. As they come away, they're set up relatively well for it if they want it. Tafua might not need the field goal. He goes hard. Porter's back and screaming for it. What's he going to do? They go the short side away there to Herman, who's turning him. It's stolen there by Allen. That can't be legal, can it? That looked like 2 in the tackle to me. But off they go. So Macquarie, with 3 minutes left on the clock, find themselves 90 metres from home, right at the base of Yakabar.
Who's the man for Macquarie, do you think? I think Schmiedel and Sumner are the two go-to guys for them.
I think if Schmiedel can get one-on-one with someone out wide, they're a chance of busting them open. If not, you're going to need some sort of chip and chase or spreading it wide late in the count or whatever it might be. Oh, here's a chance. Nathan Cantor, he's another option late in the game. 2 minutes left here. Slow play the ball. They're looking for the penalty here. Noble away. And Allen, well, he's gone. I'm not quite sure what that is, but it's going to pitch here. There's a chance for Sumner to grab it. He's tackled off the ball. Gallen has it. They might say 6 to go. They won't say 6 to go. Hang on.
Yeah,
Yes, they have. So there's about a minute and a half left here, and Macquarie are on it. It goes out there to Kuka Smith, and there's a bit of broken play for him to run into, but he might be heading out. He is heading out. Oh, it's a pretty ordinary mistake in the end. Kuka Smith, he overestimated his own strength compared to those three Western Suburbs defenders, and as soon as that last flicker arrived for Macquarie, it was extinguished.
Again, something that Macquarie has really just done to cruel themselves. They've been letting in this game a lot by West, but just haven't been able to capitalise on the opportunities given. And there's another great example of, on the first tackle, going down the short side and just being bungled into touch when play it safe for a few tackles and get yourself into a good position where you can set yourself up for a try.
It's the story of the game. I'm not quite sure what Simon Allen would call that kick. It looked wobbly as all hell to me, but it almost came off. 50 seconds left as West form this scrum, and you're pretty much looking for a one-on-one steal or something pretty bizarre from here to prevent Wests from claiming their second win in a row to start the season, as there's a heavy shot. I'm not quite sure what's happened at Central today, but it's possible that if Central got the better of Cessnock, West could be the only undefeated side in the comp. Oh no, South, of course. South have won 2 from 2. But even at this early stage, they open up a little advantage on some of the big competitors. Pywell. Macquarie, with 15 seconds to go here, are going to be 0-2 to start the season as Ale comes forward. There won't be time for much more here. There's 8 seconds left on last. And so it goes over to Porter, who thuds this into touch, and that will be that. There's the siren. And Western Suburbs have the chocolates today. And you'd have to say, on balance, they've won it in spite of themselves. They played very, very strongly in the first half, didn't make many mistakes, but in the second half, well, it was charitable, as we said a few times. They gave Macquarie every opportunity to win the game. They served it up on a platter with all the trimmings and a choice of sauce. And Macquarie said, yeah, you know what, I don't fancy it.
Yeah, I think it was certainly West's game in the first half. That first 35 minutes were totally dominant, what you expect of Western Suburbs team, or the Western Suburbs we've become accustomed to, but really crueled themselves in the second half, but were just good enough, or maybe probably Macquarie just weren't good enough to be able to come back and get those points that West got in front in the first half. But really that second half of the last 20 minutes really wasn't fluent football or football you would expect of these two sides, and two sides that you would fancy that will be right up there at the end of the season. So, look, early doors, but really it was just a typical West win of just being able to grit it out at the end and have a very well organised defence, and just really, at the end of the day, were a bit tougher than probably Macquarie were.
In this competition, there's not another side that you'd like more to be defending your line in the last 20 minutes. They're so good at holding onto a lead in that late stage of a game, and we saw it again today. As for Macquarie, well, you'd have to say they're missing a few players and they need them back. I mean, Scott Briggs would have made a big difference today with his creativity. You suspect Daniel Abraham probably would have made a difference today if he'd played. They are a little bit undermanned at the moment, Macquarie, and it's going to be a tough start to the season for them. As we mentioned a moment ago, they have Curry at home next week, their first home game of the season, Macquarie. Then they have to travel to Maitland in round 5. As for West, they've got to travel to Maitland next week, and then they are back here at Harker Oval against South Newcastle in the round 5 match as well. So, from all of us here at Bar TV, thank you very much, Matthew.
Always a pleasure.
Matthew Peterson signing off. This is Morgan Campbell signing off as well from Harker Oval, where Wests have the points. They're undefeated through 2 rounds of the season. Another tough win, 24 points to 18 over Macquarie.